Oh, good Woche, everyone. So this is a story about the Baal Shem Tov. We're starting Pashas Dvorim, getting to the 9 days. So this story was told over by the Maggid of Mezrich. And he said that after uh, uh, like a regular Shabbos, as it were, if you can say any Shabbos by the Baal Shem is regular, he said after Mary immediately, a woman came to the room where the Baal Shem Tov and his Talmidim were davening. And she called out, Rebbe, you have to help me. I must have money to marry off my daughter. I don't have a penny. So Baal Shem Tov listened to her. And then he told his Hasidim to put their hands in their pockets. This is Mariam Shabbos. I am Motzei Shabbos. And give all the money they'll find for this important cause. So the money that the Chassidim found in their pockets was exactly the amount that the woman said she needed. So the Maggid said, so you tell me, what is the lesson to be learned from this story of the Baal Shem? So one Chassid said, you can see, the wondrous koach of the Baal Shem. There's something happens a few minutes after Shabbos went out, and nobody had any money in his pockets, obviously. And the Baal Shem made the Mefis, and they found money to help the woman. So the Maggid said, but we have many, many stories about the miracles of the Baal Shem HaKadosh. Why do we need Dafka this story? So another Chassid said it's a double miracle. Not only did the Baal Shem cause the money to appear miraculously, but it's exactly the sum that was necessary for the woman to marry off her daughter. Again, the Maggid said there are plenty of stories that tell incredible double, triple, whatever we call it, miracles of Baal Shem HaKadosh. So another Chassid said, it's obvious that Baal Shem Tov could make miracles, but the Baal Shem could have made it possible for the money to appear in his own pocket and do the mitzvah himself. But being that he had this love for the other, or to share the mitzvah with him. So the Maggid said, my opinion is this story is not about the Baal Shem at all. The story is really about the greatness of the Baal Shem's Talmidim. Shabbos just went out, and none of them had a penny in his pocket. And they all put their hands in their pockets and do exactly as the Rebbe said, with full, complete emunah, without any doubt. That's the thing that brought the money into their pockets. There are various stories similar to that. The amazing connection between the tzaddik and his people. the amazing connection the tzaddik and his people, the Sichos Haran for this week, also deals with this particular inyan. Rabbeinu said that we find in the Tanakh, in Book of Kings, Melachim, we find, the various miracles of Elisha, prophet Elisha. So Rabbeinu said, sometimes the Tanakh, the Bible calls him Elisha, and sometimes it calls him Isha Elokim, the man of God. What's the difference? In those times, when prophecy was achievable, there were academies. For prophecy, academies were the Talmidim, those that were pure enough and saintly enough and righteous enough, where they learned the discipline that is necessary in order to enter a prophetic state. And that the necessity for the discipline, we can learn a little bit from the story of the golem, when the Maharal from Prague and his son-in-law, they meditated in order to perform the act of creation of a golem. And his son-in-law later told that the Maharal required him to meditate on a specific combination for 9 hours straight. I don't know if you know what it means to concentrate one's mind without deviating for 9 hours straight. If you want to know what it means, try to stop thinking. Tell your brain, okay, tell yourself, now I'm stopping to think. How long is it going to last? After a few seconds, you will say to yourself in your mind, hey, I'm not thinking, which of course is thinking. The point is that if you shut your mind, after a very, very short time, you'll be expelled. You can train yourself to shut your mind by going into it, being expelled, and going back into it, shutting your mind again, and being expelled. And slowly, slowly, you're able to increase the capacity of being able not to think. A prophet needed to be able to do this for periods of like 24 hours. And that alone, did not reach the level of Bnei Israel when they were in the desert, where the Levites that were carrying the Holy Ark on their shoulder could not have one stray thought. If they would have one stray thought, they would be zapped on the spot. And Korach was so great that that was his job. He was a carrier of the Holy Ark. In other words, he was able to control his thinking process without letting even one stray thought get into it constantly. Okay, so it's just, we're talking about greatness which we cannot perceive. But nevertheless, these are the neophytes, the noviates. And they're called Bnei Nevi'im, the small Nevi'im, the children of Nevi'im, as it were. But they were academy students. Now, each one of them, would prophesize, but their prophetic vision was local, as it were, to that time, to whatever was needed. I mean, the great prophets, they had prophecies that have to do with the destiny of Am Yisrael. It's not Hashem until the end of time. So Rabbeinu said that when the Bnei Nevi'im were the Hasidim, the Talmidim were together with the Rebbe, with Elisha, he was called Isha Elokim, the man of God. But when he was by himself, he was called Elisha. We know that we need the tzaddik, but we have no idea that the tzaddik needs us in order to do his avodah. And what kind of emunah is necessary for the Talmid of Baal Shem HaKadosh? So the Maggid said, when there is Ois Shabbos, Ma'ariv, after Shabbos, nobody has anything in their pockets. The Baal Shem Tov tells the Talmidim to put their hands in their pockets, and they'll find the money, and they will find exactly the amount of money that's necessary. Due to the emunah in the Baal Shem. You're talking about a connection between the tzaddik and the Talmidim, which there's really no way to describe. Not only the fact that there are miracles coming out of it, but what is the spiritual and physical, the metaphysical meaning for all this. Of the, first of all, what a tzaddik is, what a emunah is, what to be a chassid means, and the connection between the two. That's the main thing that we are lamenting on Tisha B'Av. The loss of that clarity, the loss of that bond, which basically opens the world. It makes everything possible. They said that Rabbeinu said that Melech HaMashiach will rule the world, will conquer the world, as it were. It says, without a single powder shot. Without shot in anger. Without a single shot. So, what's the pshat? How will Melech HaMashiach rule over the entire world? The answer is that the Melech HaMashiach will be the Melech on Israel. And when he'll be the Melech on Israel, things will run perfectly over here. All the sick will be healed. There'll be total peace between the people and between the livestock, between the animals. Everything will be a total peace. That another country will come over and say, we're trying to pick out leaders that will, lead us to the quote-unquote promised land. It's like that everything should be copacetic and run properly. And hey, so why don't you be our king also? So, okay, so Moshiach will be king on that land as well. Another country will go, he says, listen, everything is running peachy with these, just like, like Mashiach days, literally. There's peace, there's harmony, there's no crime, there's prosperity, everything is fine. 100%, everybody's like He says, why don't you be a melech on us as well? So, okay, so Mashiach will be a melech on them. And slowly but surely, all the nations in the world will come to their senses. He says, what are breaking our heads trying to find this one and that one and this one become be a, be our king also. And Mashiach will be the melech over the entire world without a single shot, without one single shot of in anger. The Mashiach will not wish to expand his reign over the other nations. They will ask. The eyes will be open and says, what are we wasting our time for? We have such great life. You understand that the Chochmah of Mashiach is such that imagine a doctor comes tomorrow and say, listen, in my wisdom, any person that comes to this doctor said that the person comes to me no matter how sick, no matter what, I do this and that, whatever it is that I do to him, and he becomes healthy. Doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter chronic diseases, doesn't matter anything. Even if he went through an accident, whatever it is, and there's a life support, whatever it is, he does what he does, and the guy becomes totally healthy. I'm sure that in the beginning, the doctors in the world, hospitals in the world, medical, the big pharma, everybody will be against him. But how long do you think that this resistance will last? When this doctor heals absolutely everybody, you know what? Al pi his chochmah. Since if everybody says, okay, no, you be the doctor, you heal everyone. That's what Mashiach is. And it'll work both ways. You need Mashiach and you need the people believing in Mashiach. Difference is that the Chochmah of Mashiach, B'ezrat Hashem, soon nowadays will be so overwhelming that all the resistance comes out of jealousy, of whatever it is, will just be dissolved. Let's take a quick look for Sichos Haran for this week, if we may. Let me take a look. Here we're talking again about the connection of the Hasidim and the Tzaddik. This is Sicha 282. Rabbeinu said to someone, when people get separated, when they leave the tzaddikim, it's as if they're worshiping idols. The Zohar Kodesh says that tzaddik represents, when we say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Hashem is one. The last letter of Echad is Daled. Daled this is the letter Daled. As you can see, let's just make it bigger. You see the letter Daled. You see the letter Daled has this chupchik in the back. If that particular part of the letter would be taken away, would be taken off, it wouldn't be a Daled anymore. What it would be, it will be Resh. Be like this. See, it doesn't have this little point in the back. You take that dot at the back of the Daled, it becomes Resh. The word changes from being Hashem Echad is with Chas v'Chalila Hashem Acher. Hashem is other Chas v'Chalila. This is Avodah Zarah. The tzaddik is the thing that connects the tzaddik is that dot in the back of the daled. And when people are separated from Chas v'Sholom, and they separate the kutzados daled echad, they separate from that spitz at the end of the letter daled of the word echad. And what becomes out of it Chas v'Sholom is el acher, is kfirus, is heresy. Ki iker emunas hayichud, the essence of emunas hayichud, in Berim Hashem echad Shmo echad, is through tzaddikim, who are that dot at the end of the Dalet. As this something which is already explained in a few places, for Rabbeinu HaKodesh, that the main emunah depends on getting close to tzaddikim. So we have the same aspect of what we said before, the connection between the tzaddik and his chassidim. When a tzaddik is connected to chassidim, prophecy flows, miracle flow. The world will become a peaceful place. But when the Yidden gets separated, chas v'chalila, from the tzaddikim, they lose the emunah in Hashem. So comes the question like, why is that? Why is emunah in tzaddikim so crucial, so vital, so central to emunah in Hashem? The answer is, a tzaddik means that Yiddishkeit actually works. You keep the Torah, you become godly. And not just a tzaddik, everyone. You keep the Torah, you become godly. You do what Hashem says, you become spiritual. He changes you. The tzaddik is the proof that the Torah works. It's not just some kind of an intellectual exercise. It should be, as holy and whatever you want to call it. That's not all it is. The Torah is Hashem in action. When you learn Torah, you keep the Torah. You become Kiviyachol HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. The Gemara says in many places, the entire world was only created to be a chevra to the tzaddik. It's a shmuz that is long, shabelong. But without the emunah in the concept of tzaddik, means you don't really believe in Torah. Yeah, you learn Torah, you become a Torah professor, but you don't become something else. I don't want to get into this in great length, but this is the emunah in a tzaddik, in what a tzaddik becomes, and what Kadosh Baruch Hu makes of him, is essential to emunah sayichud. As the Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe, I'm going to come to you, I'm going to speak to you, and also in you, said Hashem Yisbarach to Moshe, they shall believe forever. Emunah tzaddikim is the essence of emunah in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Emunah in the Torah is essence of emunah in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Emunah in yourself as a Jew, who is commanded to keep the Torah, is the essence of emunah in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's all one thing. So it should help us with Hashem. We should have a good week and a good month. We will be zecher b'ezrat Hashem to see the coming of Moshiach Tzidkeinu b'ezrat Hashem and the building of Beis Hamikdash b'ezrat Hashem quickly, swiftly b'ezrat Hashem. Rabbi Yameinu Amen. Kol tov and atzlacha b'kol ha'inyanim.